All right, folks, Bad Bunny. Is he a Marxist? Is he a Marxist Satanist? I don't know, but the internet told me so. They just announced him for the Super Bowl halftime show, the greatest stage on earth, military flyover, a commercial where a dog gets his sight back. And then, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is arguably one of the largest stars in the world right now when it comes to music. His ticket sales alone in Puerto Rico, a tiny little island, produced over $700 million in ticket sales. I didn't even think that country had that much money. But upon hearing this news immediately, my entire feed, the conservative internet, had just lost its mind. A total beautiful meltdown that we're all here to see. It's like watching a golden retriever try to do complicated math, right? It's just something you can't look away from. But I don't know. Let's have a look.
You know, it's funny, I woke up this morning and checked my phone, and there was a headline that read, Bad Bunny is selected to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. And I can't think of a better opportunity to go to the restroom, take a walk around the block, drive down to McDonald's, because any of those options is way better than watching the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny. I mean, this guy literally canceled his entire U.S. tour in protest of ICE. Essentially saying he doesn't agree with what the U.S. government is doing. And you have your right to not agree with what the U.S. government is doing. Believe me, I'm all for that, but what changed? All of a sudden now you want to perform in America? Like, you did your fans a huge disservice that you have in this country by canceling your U.S. tour because you weren't happy with what the government's doing.
I really hate this whole shut up and dance, the kind of thing that you always get from conservatives. You know, it's the same thing when LeBron James spoke up during the whole Black Lives Matter thing. They're like, just dribble the ball, just play basketball. That's what we want from you. Listen, things go beyond that, right? And these people, even though not elected, they've caught the public eye, right? What they say has meaning. It has impact. Though, are they often the great bearers of culture that we would like? No, of course not. But they still have the right to take a stance. I mean, that's the American thing, right? Take a stance, protest. You should have the freedom to do that. But that's the thing. When you stand for nothing, right? When you stand for nothing, your life means nothing. And that's a lot of what this is for people on the right. They don't actually stand behind anything. They just stand behind a guy. And to question any of his decisions means that, well, you're just not thinking things through. Because he probably doesn't even know this, but the fans of Bad Bunny are quite happy about this. Right? This is a big thing. This is a big thing for Puerto Ricans, which apparently most people don't even know is a territory of the United States. You're a Puerto Rican, you're an American citizen. You have a US passport. Right? Just because they're brown and he doesn't speak the best English doesn't mean he's not American. He's an American, whether you like it or not. And we know you don't like it. But that makes it even sweeter for us to see any kind of meltdown come from this news. It's just good music. It's reggaeton. Who doesn't like it? Who can't just dance to? But let's be honest, this kind of guy is not exactly dancing anyway. You can look at the shaved head, you can look at the beard, and he just listens to sad, angry music while drinking beer alone in his garage. The highlight of his day is probably scrolling through the destruction feed of Gaza as he does the mental gymnastics to justify why he stands behind it all.
So the NFL has announced that Bad Bunny is going to be the headliner for the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Okay. But I guess for 2025, this is probably, no, that'll be 2026 though. If that's a premonition of 2026, I'm scared. I guess I'm not surprised, I mean, given their actions in the past with kneeling and all that, but I'm so done. I wonder if Taylor Swift had anything. Is she friends with Bad Bunny? I don't even know. Happy Monday.
Hey, did you guys hear Bad Bunny is doing the NFL halftime show? Can't wait to see ICE arrest him on stage.
Smart people don't like me, you know?
See, the problem here isn't with the music when it comes to Bad Bunny. It's never about the music. I don't know anything about the music, really. It's probably about a yacht. This kind of music, it's always about a yacht, and I love it. The big problem is he's one massive Trump hater. He doesn't like Trump. And in 2025, that's what it's all about in America. You're either a Trump lover or a Trump hater, right? That's your entire personality. And if you are a Trump hater, you can't be in the halftime show. You have to be in a basket somewhere starving. This is America. The second big issue, and this is where it gets spicy, he is hugely anti-ICE. For obvious reasons that most of us are at this point anti-ICE. I mean, we don't like this kind of stuff. He doesn't like the border. He doesn't like the wall. You know, all the things that you're supposed to like, right? And he skipped the mainland US when it came to his world tour. Not because he was worried, because again, he's Puerto Rican, right? Which makes him an American. But he was worried that ICE would be sitting outside the venues that he'd be performing at, trying to scoop up his fans. Because he is the biggest Latin star in the world. So guess what? ICE would be going after his fans actively. So did he do a great disservice to his fans by skipping the US for his world tour? Of course not. If anything, he put his fans' interest first, which is really refreshing to come from any kind of celebrity, honestly. But the MAGA world is looking at this saying, well, he wouldn't perform in a stadium because of ICE, but now he's going to perform on the greatest stage on earth. And they see this as a betrayal, even though they didn't even listen to his music in the first place. You know, they see it as cynical, they see it as corporate, and they're not wrong. It is corporate, it is cynical, but this is America. And it's all about corporate cynical moves here. That's, if anything, that's the most American thing that he could possibly do. But again, there's more meaning to actually performing in the halftime show for the Super Bowl, for the entire world, than to just go on a US tour. This is gonna bring more eyes on him than he's ever had before. This is a huge moment for the Puerto Rican community and the Latin community at large, because this is the first performer from the Latin community to actually be the main performer at a halftime show, at least for the Super Bowl. But again, this is a business, right? This isn't community theater. So yeah, of course he's making money. Would he have made more money from the tour? Yeah, absolutely. So to just say this is simply because money is just, I mean, listen, we're used to the ignorance. I understand it, you understand it. It is what it is. But here's the big, beautiful, tragic part to this whole thing, right? The biggest complaint isn't the hypocrisy. The biggest complaint is that he doesn't speak English. And he does speak English, not very good English. I mean, by my standard, by anybody's standard, really. But that's how fragile culture in America has truly become. We have a Latin superstar who's gonna perform in Spanish and half the country has a meltdown and loses their mind. What are they saying? Is it about the Democrats? Is it about the collapsing dollar? Are there subtitles? Again, first of all, he's Puerto Rican, so he's a US citizen. You can't exactly roll up on stage. ICE isn't gonna crash on the stage and arrest this guy in the middle of Tito mi pregunto. Or whatever, listen, I'll butcher it, I don't speak Spanish. But that's what they want, they're writing things like this, you see it everywhere. They should just get up on stage and arrest him in front of everyone, drag him off the stage and toss him across the border. It's satire, it'd be hilarious if it was just satire. It'd be better for the world if it was, but it's reality. This is what people want. But you can't, he's a citizen. But the hate and the ignorance is so deep in this country at this point that's generational, right? It's beautiful, really. It's just a disease. But it's a culture war, that's all it is. Right? It's just two tribes staring at each other and Bad Bunny's in the middle. He's on the left, let's be honest. But you have one side saying, hey, we want diversity, we want representation, we want our music to be in different languages sometimes. And the other one saying, I don't know what he's saying, he's a communist. It's pretty simple. But honestly, it just boils down to control. Listen, the NFL is a business, it's a corporation, right? There's nothing popular about it, really. I mean, as far as the voice of the people. Like, they're gonna bring the biggest star in the world on because guess what? That's gonna draw the most eyes. The NFL truly doesn't care about MAGA because they cater to an international audience. So they want the big bucks. That's what they want. The big bucks that come from the biggest advertisers. They don't care about Trump. They care about the money. And Bad Bunny wants the money and he's gonna bring the money in. The conservatives, they want the NFL to be like a safe little conservative bubble, right? Where they can just bring in nothing but country singers, right? They want to resurrect the body of Toby Keith and prop him up there and just have him sing Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue on repeat. They do that every year and they'd be happy. They want their own Super Bowl, right? And maybe they can have that, right? I wouldn't be surprised in lieu of just watching the Super Bowl, or at least watching the Super Bowl halftime, there's some kind of Fox presentation. I mean, listen, if you have that much of a problem with it, there's always the Puppy Bowl. You can watch that, and it's adorable. But in the end, they're going to end up watching it. They're going to rage watch it and post about it on Twitter. Like, this evil Marxist rabbit. But at the same time, they're just going to watch the rest of the game because that's what they do, because we're addicts. Americans, we're addicts to the algorithm. So just forget about it. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Watch it. Right? Enjoy the music. Is he going to make a political statement? Yeah, probably, but you're going to watch it anyway. Listen to the music in Spanish. You're not going to understand it anyway, but that's fine. Because in the end, nothing is going to change, and we'll be back here next year waiting for the next Super Bowl, the next manufactured outrage to happen, because this is the American dream, baby. It's the Super Bowl. Honestly, this place is just turning into a tin pop dictatorship. It's just one third world country at this point. Everyone's on edge. Like, I didn't know the whole thing was going to be in Spanish, and guess what? I don't care, right? You can either listen to subtitles or you just, guess what? You can go ahead and actually learn what the song's about, right? It's all the boomers who want to complain about things changing, but do you actually understand the lyrics to anything these days? I know when you had CD players and tape players back in the day, when you bought your little cassettes or CDs, you can open up the artwork and it had the lyrics to all your songs on it. Guess what? There's a magical thing called the internet now. You can go ahead and Google little songs and see what it's about. I guarantee it's not about some kind of paganistic, demonic, satanic, Marxist propaganda. No, it's probably just about shaking ass on a yacht somewhere, just like any other reggaeton song is about. But just enjoy it, right? Watch the booty shake, have a hot dog, and just enjoy yourself. It's not going to make you a Democrat. It's not going to make you gay. I mean, listen, you have enough problems with that as it is, as we see anytime there's any kind of Republican convention, you know, the numbers on Grindr in that local area apparently skyrocket. But hey, that's a whole nother conversation. But in the end, Bad Bunny, hey, good for him. He's a monster. Who cares? Good times. I'm going to listen to it. And you should too. MAGA, stop crying. Everyone's just sick of it. Have a good one.